Welcome to today's podcast, and the topic is 3 ways to know if you're burning out. Okay, are you burning out, first of all, and 3 ways to know. And one of the first things you want to know when you are on the verge of burning out, and I want you to stay tuned for more on that. And of course, the best thing you can do to sharpen your concentration is do this. Okay, so welcome again officially to Supercharge with Emily, the podcast. And today I'm going to do something a little different. I took a challenge last week where we were taught 5 key hooks to go viral with your videos. One of them is to put on lip gloss while you're talking. Now, normally I would do this before going live, but I'm like, I might as well showcase my hooks, so I'll start with this. And in case you're wondering what is my lip gloss, it's MAC, M-A-C, what's it called? Love Child. That's my color right here. I love this. I need another one. It's almost finished. And then sometimes I'll put on actual lipstick over it to make it a little brighter. Okay, so now you know my secret to a glossy lip. Now this is called, what is it called? Bizarre Bloom. Bizarre Bloom. Great color. Okay, so 2 of the hooks I did, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with burning out? Just stay tuned, you'll soon find out. The first thing I did was to stand up, come into the scene, and sit down. That's a way to kind of change your thoughts. Second thing was put on lipstick. The other thing I'm going to do is drink something. What am I drinking? It's called water. It's almost done. And then I did sit down and then use something as a random microphone. So I'll use the lipstick. I'll double up on the lipstick. And then the other thing is to catch something that's falling from the sky. All right, I did all 5 things. So yes, that was a great what was it? A challenge that I did on improving your reels and so forth on Instagram and TikTok with Kenya Kelly. So she's an expert in that area, and it was a really fun challenge. So that's something I learned. And so as it relates to the topic today, it's all about changing how you think about things, changing your approach. So 3 ways to know if you're burning out. You might want to start to do things a little differently. Like maybe putting your lip gloss on camera. You're like, Emily, that's kind of crazy, but there's a method to the madness. But before we jump into all of that, let's start off with the reminders. As you know, you've got to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss all the excitement coming your way at Supercharge Coach on YouTube, because that's where it's going down. Every Monday you get your Momentum Monday. And of course, if you're not already on my newsletter, Supercharge Weekly, or have the How to Focus Toolkit, you might want to pick this up at the emilymchugh.com free gift, and you'll get this wonderful toolkit on how to overcome shiny object syndrome, not being distracted by lip gloss. All right, yes, that needed some kind of badum. Okay, all right. Okay, so without further ado, let us go right to the point, to the topic at hand today, which is all about, are you burning out? 3 ways to know. So the first way to know that you're burning out or on the verge of burnout possibly is overthinking. But I really just want to peel back the onion, if you will, before we even go any further. What is burnout in the first place? Now, there are clinical definitions of the term, and there are just plain old layman's definitions. And today, my layman term is you're just tired and you're worn out and you feel like you can't do more of what you want to do. Things that used to come normally and easily and naturally take more work, take more time, it's more effort. And so sometimes it can be a form of disillusionment. Maybe you're just overwhelmed by all the things you have to do. There's so many aspects and components to burnout. But one of the most common threads in the concept is just being too much, and you just kind of shutting down the excessive things you're doing. So overthinking is one of the big thing. And when I say overthinking, I mean excessive overthinking, excessive indecision, hard to concentrate, things that used to be easy to decide on becomes more of a project. So that overthinking process, and you kind of second guessing yourself, and then you just can't decide. So that is usually an indicator that you need to change something. Another example is procrastination. So actually, procrastination, overthinking is a form of procrastination. Actually, it could be considered almost one and the same, but just calling a spade, procrastination is just putting things off and putting them off and putting them off. And we can put them off because we're overthinking. So, as I said, it goes together. But another aspect of the procrastination is, again, it's this excessive procrastination. Not just a little bit, but things that, you should have really done a year ago, you're just starting to do. And look, I sit here when I give Momentum Mondays, I'm not really talking to you. I'm actually talking to myself. And it is because it's a commonality. It's things that we're sharing that I know if I'm going through it, I can guarantee 100 people out there are as well. And so it's important to address these topics as entrepreneurs, business people, whatever field you're in, that you cannot ignore burnout. You cannot ignore and these symptoms or these things that may be happening to you for different reasons, and to really address them and certainly acknowledge them, and then from there figure a way forward. But procrastination is definitely a very key one. And the third one to highlight is panic. When you go out into all out panic over things that would normally you would kind of be more calm about, but you're kind of losing that calmness because you're really, as a result of the excessive procrastination, as a result of the excessive overthinking, it makes you kind of paralyzed, like you can't really decide on which way to go. You have so many projects, so many things going on. You start to panic, and it could become an anxiety attack or a panic attack. And obviously, there are different degrees depending on the different people and their personalities, etc. But the bottom line is all of these things can build up into this crescendo of anxiety where you feel like, how do I move forward beyond this? Well, I actually did a video back in 2021 on 3 ways to overcome burnout, or to avoid it. And I encourage you to go check that video out. But today I want us to just acknowledge what's happening, acknowledge what is happening, and understand what's going on. Okay, and then I'm going to summarize it for you. But before we summarize it, let me just throw in my sponsor of our podcast, the Little Girl's Guide to Entrepreneurship book on Amazon. Guys, if you haven't picked it up, this is the time. Scan the QR code and go do yourself a favor and get some great insights on the entrepreneurial journey by yours truly, my book. Absolutely. Okay, so now let's do our summary of these 3 ways to know if you're burning out. And one of the key things that I actually highlighted in my book that I mentioned before, let me pop back to that for a second, is how I burnt out as an entrepreneur and the journey I went on and how I kind of bounced back from that. But this was more protracted burnout because of over a long period of time. But burnout can come in different stages. It doesn't just have to be this big, long time. It can be in a short spurts of time. So how do I know that I'm burning out or experiencing or on the verge of feeling a bit frazzled? Again, number one, starting with the overthinking. Number two, procrastinating doing things that I would easily maybe have done. And number three, you start to panic because you haven't done it. You haven't done the things that you know you need to do, or you have scheduled for yourself, or you feel you have some kind of impasse and you're like, okay, if I'm stuck there, how do I kind of move off the place to kind of move forward? What are the steps I need to specifically take so that you can emerge from this place? So that's what I want to touch on today in today's Mindset Minute, to just kind of give us a little bit of a refresher on things we can think of to do to minimize the impact of the burnout and to start to turn things around if you feel it coming on. And again, this is not a clinical diagnosis that I'm doing. It's just you checking in with yourself. Today is more like a check-in for Momentum Monday. From time to time, we just need to check in with ourselves, how we're feeling, how we're doing, and really, again, acknowledge, and that word is key, what is our state of being? How are we showing up for ourselves? I mean, we hear these terms and we're like, yeah, it's time to really take that to heart. So, with that being said, let me share today's Mindset Minute. And it's all about, today's Mindset Minute is all about sharpening your concentration. And I have 3 little tips on that. I'm looking over at my Notion notes here. Number 1, you want to minimize interruptions. When you're trying to concentrate and focus and get one of those projects done that you have on your list that you've either been procrastinating, putting off, or overthinking, whatever, minimize the interruptions to the extent you can. Silence your phone, put it on mute, turn it off. Just turn it off. Turn off your phone. Number 2, I want you to take some breaks. Don't just sit there trying to concentrate. Take some breaks, get away. And the third tip on that is to think about something else. Sometimes the best way to get unstuck or overcome a situation is to just not think about it, or think about something else. Go do something else. Go play, pick up your hobby. Go play your violin. Go do something else. Yes, that's what I want you to do for today's Mindset Minute. Chill out, basically. Chill out. That is what we need to do to sharpen our concentration sometimes. Okay, so with that, I want to, speaking of violin, so one of the things I want you guys to go and do, let me see if this is this it right here? Yes. So this weekend I played at church, I played Days of Elijah, and some of you might be like, did you know that I also have my violin channel, my violin YouTube channel at Emily McHugh Violinist? Well, if you didn't know, now you know, and I encourage you to go and subscribe over there as well. I don't know if you're going to hear any of my video. I can play a couple of seconds. Really beautiful video. So go check it out. Check it out. Okay, guys. So I hope today's discussion resonates with you. I encourage you to step back and ask yourself the questions. You feel your kind of burnout happening? If so, again, do some relaxation techniques. Step back and put things in perspective. Usually things are not as bad as we think they are, and we need to give ourselves a little bit more grace. We need to give ourselves a little bit more time to just chill. One of the things that I'm going to be doing that I wanted to share with you is that over the next few weeks, and now we're September, what are we, 2nd? This is 2024 if you're watching it now. Today's Labor Day, and I did a lot of laboring. And you can go check out my Instagram. You'll see some of the stuff I did at Emily the Entrepreneur, guys. But I will be probably taking, and I say probably, taking a few weeks off from my Momentum Monday and from some of my social media activities, because I am working on some projects that require my 100% attention. And if I don't take the time to not do certain other things, I will fall behind on others. So I'm actually following my own advice, taking my own medicine, and realizing that you cannot do everything at the same time. And when we try to do that, burnout is another potential factor. So I will probably be going on a little bit of a hiatus with my Momentum Mondays, because it does take time to put it together. Even though I don't have a script. I come on here and I just have a few notes and I just go. But at the same time, you want to prepare. But I am going to be isolating out some very specific projects, doing those projects, and then reemerging with my focus in place. So if you don't see me for a couple weeks, it's not that I've abandoned you, it's that I'm following my own advice and reserving time to work on some very specific projects that have some very tight deadlines that must be completed like right now. So in order for that to happen, I need to take a break from here. But I will certainly be posting here and there, updating you guys on what I'm doing in my Instagram stories. I'll be using that some more and just kind of sharing with you what I'm working on, and that way we can keep in touch and so forth. And of course, You can always be a part of the Supercharged Club and the Supercharged CEO if you'd like to be a part of my entrepreneurship online community, where we have monthly topics that we help to guide and support your entrepreneurial journey. So that is going on, and I'll be over there. Okay. So I want you to have a very great supercharged day, and I will see you very soon. I will let you know when I'll be back on here. And until then, stay supercharged and